Well, hello there, everybody. Um, Hold on, let me think. We are back at, working on Astortion. Haven't done too many things since the last time that I can show you, because I've been mostly working on the next playtest. But one thing that's sort of complete now is the main menu, together with like the scaling. So now, if I change the size of this window, it adjusts itself accordingly, stuff like that. And you can also change the scale of the UI in the settings. And I also finished the input prompts, so they should now correctly work for, or the new input prompts, because they used to be there before, but in like a pixel art version. And now they are, rendered using Velo. And I also added this little HUD indicator here in the top left, which is basically for the teleportation mechanic. So it tells you if you have a warp set somewhere, so you can go back there. And it also has a little arrow that shows you the gravity direction, but that's kind of pointless. It's just for fun there. It may be changed. It may change in the future, because I still don't know what else do we need to show in terms of like indication, because we definitely do need this teleporter indicator. But other than that, I don't think there's many other things that needs to be displayed, because we don't have health or anything like that. Okay, hello everybody once again. How's your game going? It's going. I'm preparing the next playtest. Hopefully it's gonna be released before the end of the month to my patrons. Can you set the teleport mid-air? Yes, you can. We're probably gonna be working on this, so you can do a little jump and then fall and then teleport yourself back up to get like a larger distance. But you cannot do that infinitely, right? Once you do it once, you can no longer do it. You need to land back on the ground to sort of regain this ability, which probably should be also indicated by this icon now as I think of it. Yeah, that's definitely something. I don't know, did I spell this correctly? I don't know. Like in Celeste, yeah. Like in a lot of platformers. So portal type momentum boost. Not really boost, but rather what would be the name for that? Conservation, I guess, of momentum. Right? So we can leave a teleporter here, and then if I just run into it, and that's not gonna give me a lot of velocity, but if I come back here and do a little jump down, like here, this is gonna get me up this ledge. There's gonna be a better teleportation animation, obviously. This is very much work in progress. This is what we're gonna be playtesting next. For today, I gathered some things that we need to implement. First of all, reset area. This is basically Emancipation Grid from Portal. And hear me out, okay? It's not that I'm copying Portal that much. It's just that this is a sort of thing that like naturally emerges as you work on this. As you work with teleportation, because you need to have a way of like restricting the player as to where they can and where they cannot take the portal. So you need, like a barrier that basically doesn't let you go through it with a portal. Or I guess it resets the portal, right? So this is the main thing that we're gonna need, and also negated doors and triggers. Let me actually set this up in Blender. I'm gonna show you what I mean by this. Let's get a single arrow in here. So this is gonna be our door. We can make it correct size. What would that be? 90, I think. So this is the door. And then let's say we have a terminal. Okay, and then the door is gonna be activated by the terminal, right? What's your name? Terminal 03, okay. So I need a way to make it reversed, right? So when the terminal is open, or when the terminal is activated, the door is closed, and you know, vice versa. So we can have two doors, excuse me, activated by the same terminal, and they're gonna like toggle. One is gonna open and the other is gonna close, right? Kind of like a sci-fi. What's the name for that? When you have like a low pressure to high pressure transition, and you have this middle point in between. Anyway, think of something like that. This is what we need as well, aside from the emancipation grid. I try render tiles from sprite sheet in Bevy. Did you know? Did you know a way how I can check if sprite loaded correctly? Because entities exist in the world, but I cannot saw them. I don't know. I'm new to Bevy as well, so probably not the best place to ask. Hold on. Let's take a look at Cube, for example. No, I just load the image and the layout and just put them here, and don't care, and they just load eventually. I don't really do any waiting. But I think you can probably somehow check if something is loaded, right? Yeah, is loaded with dependencies, I guess. Is probably what you're looking for, maybe. If the asset and all of its dependencies have been loaded, yeah. Airlock, oh yeah, thank you. That's exactly the name that I was thinking of. Okay, so let's start with something simple, which is the negation. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be too complex. So the idea is that the entity that has the trigger should just accept a new, like, negated component. Is that a word? Hold on. It is technically a word. Negative in meaning. I guess it makes sense. Because negate also kind of sounds like you're zeroing out something, right? Like someone added one and then you subtract one. So you're back at 0. Anyway, we can call it this way for now. So that should be pretty easy. Let's go to the triggers, I guess. Just the final component in here. With the same name. This is gonna just be a... this is just gonna be a tag component with no values. I'm just gonna add a new parser bundle. It's also something I upgraded since a few streams ago, which is that adding a parser bundle with a name not only looks for the name in the hierarchy in Blender, but also for the Boolean properties. But you need a default implementation, I guess. maybe it will be more flexible if there will be another component for like initial value or default value, and the trigger will reverse that value, whether it will be door, platform, or something. Yeah, but that value comes from the terminal. We already have a generic component for triggering stuff. It's not gonna be specific to the door, because the door has a trigger component, and that's not related to the door. Other things can also have a trigger component, like a platform, for example. You can set in the editor if the door is open initially, but the door is open based on its dependencies. Because he wants to change something that's a pure function, which is just take the state of the dependencies and calculate whether the door is open, into integration. So like you start with a value that the door has, and then the change of the trigger changes the value, and you need to keep track of that continuously, which in my opinion is just asking for trouble. And I also don't see the point of that. I mean, it is like you say, it is more flexible, but then again, the more flexible something is, the more complex it becomes. It's a general rule. I mean, in the case there are two doors, you can use the same trigger that will reverse the state without knowing the state itself. But that's what we're doing. We're making a component that will inverse the signal that opens the door. That's the whole point of the negated component. This door doesn't have negated, this door has negated. And that's it. So now in our system for updating the trigger, we're also gonna query if it has the negated component. It's gonna tell us if we should negate this. And I guess the same goes for this. Okay, and then, oh, how would we do that? What operation is this? Man, I don't remember my logic. It's gonna, if negated is false, negated is false and triggered is false. That's false. False, true, true. True, false. True. True, true, false. What is this? By the way, I really like your Blender Bevy workflow. Looks very productive. Thank you so much. I am actually working on a video about it. Should be released in a few weeks. That's XOR. XOR. Would it be? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like OR. And then this is inverse. Okay. Thank you so much. Can I do that? Negated. What are you? Boolean. I'm not getting any. I think this should be like that. Hold on. Okay, negated is now Boolean. Well, there is an extension in Bevy rape here, but what would be like the native Rust way of doing it? The bitwise, yeah, but that's the bitwise XOR. I don't think there is anything that does this. Also, my Rust analyzer is really slow today. I don't know why. What is it doing? I think this is XOR. It is, but it's bitwise, so I don't think I can apply it to Boolean values. Or maybe I can. Maybe close the game, see if that's gonna help. Oh, it seems to work. I just gotta combine a ton of nans. Yeah, make a lookup table. Okay, and I'm gonna take it out of here. Okay, and then triggers is gonna be a little bit different because triggers stores like a fraction. I don't think we need to negate this just yet. I feel like negation would be just arithmetically doing 1 minus, right? That would probably be negation in this case. Because here the story is a bit different, right? Because we have 0.0, for example, 0.5, and then 1.0, and this is like none. This is any, and this is all. So then if you wanted to negate these, none would become all. Right? And then any would still be any, and then all would become none, I guess. So yeah, 1 minus would do that. You know what? Let's just... Okay, hold on. I guess we can do it like that. We'll see. That's the problem of like trying to implement something that you don't need. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever gonna have to use it. but whatever, this should work. Okay, so if that's correct, everything should just work first time, hopefully. I'm gonna have a nice little airlock. We also need to implement some, oh, no, hold on. Implement some teleport, flexibility, progression. Be air plus ground, and then would be air plus air. This is something that I want to experiment with, because the current teleport is really powerful. I mean, this is actually air velocity reset. Yeah, something like that. So it would be fun to start with something simpler and then add onto that as the game progresses. Okay, let's reset Blender. Okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Because we did not register the type, did we? Yeah. Typical. I remember trying to make it so that if I add a parser bundle, but the type is not registered, it would log an error. And I don't remember why I decided not to do that, because there was something preventing me from doing it, but now I don't remember. Okay, but here we go. Here it is, the most fundamental puzzle that you can imagine. You open the door, you go here, you set the teleport, you close the door, and now you're on the other side. Sorry guys, I just spoiled the entire game. Okay, so that's cool. What was that? Negated doors triggers, okay. It's nice, simple little issue to start the stream. Okay, trigger. We can leave those. Okay, reset area, I guess. That should also not be too difficult. Let's see. Still this. What are you? Area trigger. Kind of want to just call it reset. But what if there's gonna be... Let's call it reset area. Let's call it area reset. Okay, area reset. Should probably share a lot of logic with damage, I think. Damage. just steal some of this code shamelessly. Let's call it area reset. Okay, so we don't need a range because that doesn't make sense. Taking area reset also not necessary. Area reset is the only thing that we need. Update damage. We probably don't need clear damage as well. Okay, we don't need this. A new material for that, definitely. Oh, it's not just reset, it's area reset. So let's see, update area reset. We're just listening for collision events upon entering, and then we're doing something. Yeah, I guess so. I think we can just trigger a custom event, maybe, and have it handled somewhere else. Because what would have to happen? There's a few things that need to happen, maybe. Because if we get to the point where we also want to reset the cube that passes through the reset, as is tradition, we would need to handle this in multiple places, so it wouldn't just be one event, because we need to know like which entity actually got through the area. So maybe adding the component is not that bad of an idea. Handle it the same way that we handle damage. Let's see. Can try, see where it takes us. Okay, but that's taking area reset is definitely not a good name. Just call it is reset. Reset is a silly verb because you can't make like a distinctive past tense because the past tense is just reset. So it cannot be area resetted or something like that. Okay. So this is gonna be mostly the same. No changes here. What is the parser bundle for? For applying the material, okay. And the range is not necessary. Okay, that should be most of it. Let's add the plugin so that I don't forget. We probably need to move the plugin registration to like the gameplay crate so that it's not all in here. Let's see, where's damage? Oh wait, reset is in the environment. Okay, so we actually do have a plugin here. That's awesome. I thought that it's in the gameplay. So there is no problem here. Okay, we don't need those. So there is one problem with the damage currently, which is that it doesn't set the area trigger automatically. So there needs to be like area trigger property. I feel like we can get rid of that requirement for the reset, and then maybe eventually do that for the damage area as well. So let me think how would that work? Area trigger. Area trigger is a bundle. Oh, okay, so I can just add it because it's a parser bundle, I think. Let's see. I should be able to just add it here. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting about something, but let's see if it's gonna work. Oh no, material. We need to have a material for that. For now, let's just make it a color material, and then we can do something else about it. Let's see. Let's use accent. That's gonna be a really strong color. But I feel like for the sake of playtesting, we're gonna make it into an orange type of striped thingy. You can write a quick little shader for that, because I feel like it would look nice. Wouldn't be too obfuscating like a solid color will. Okay, so for area reset, we're just gonna clone the reset material. This is also something that they've done. I'm not sure if I talked about this. I will need to improve it eventually. But they used to add a new material for every single piece of terrain, despite the fact that they're using the same material. So now I have this little resource with cached materials that I'm using instead. So every single mesh with the same material is using the same material instance, which is a bit better. And I also have this little enum that lets me serialize materials. So I just store the enum, and then this enum is converted into an actual material at runtime. Simple, but it works, so. Okay, will you compile? It looks so. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Okay, no crash. That's good. Let's try. Let's try going there and see if something happens. Oh, this doesn't have ABB. We're gonna need to find it. I see a lot of area triggers and no area resets. we really need a search function for this. Oh, here it is. Area reset. Okay. Okay, there is an area reset in here. That's good. And so now the player should receive a component for that. Somewhere in here, we should get a new component added. Okay, it got added, but it didn't get reset. Here it is reset. Okay. And that's because we don't have a system that would remove it afterwards. Which is something that damage does right here. Fix post update. Oh, that's materials. Hold on. I added this here. Okay, that's a wrong file. Let's take it back to the actual correct file. Okay, so is reset. We're just gonna remove it in post update. But now that we know that it works, we can probably add a little system for that somewhere. Spawn player handle reset. Oh, there's there's already handle reset, but it's handling a different type of reset. Let's handle area reset. Did I add the thing to the to-do list? I don't remember because I was about to write something. I don't know, but we do need a cube resetting and then destroying as well. Because right now if a cube falls into like a damage pit, it just remains there. There's no way to take it out of it. Okay, handle area reset. Let's see. So this should be simple because it's just a query. It's gonna be a query with the player controller, I guess, and then with is reset. Really straightforward, but we need to export the reset probably. Is reset. Okay, now we're just gonna... Oh, this has to be mutable. Yeah, so now we can just reset the teleport location and that should be it. That's gonna destroy the portal. I wonder if there's some way of like generalizing it. Because we're doing pretty much the same thing with both damage and reset areas. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a portal in here, and then, yeah, when I enter the reset area, it's gonna reset our portal. Okay, so let's make it look nice, so that we can actually tell where it's being displayed. Also, hold on, why is it not getting a material? That's a good question. Because it doesn't have a mesh. And that's why I cannot press on it. Okay, click on it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Why doesn't it have a mesh? It should have a mesh. Or is it just the simple case of the curve being reversed? Yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of these doors because it's annoying have to go through them each time. Yeah, okay. Now we can just make it a different material. Let's see, field material. How complex is this? It is a bit more complex because we do care about some properties. Like the field has a custom direction, but we don't even need that. Okay, but let's steal this file. Reset material. Let's add it in here. Have you updated your game to newer versions of Bevy? If so, how much work that was? Is there a newer version of Bevy? Wait, I don't know about that. No, there is none. So previously, hold on, I lost chat. Previously I updated from 0.12 because this is where I started the project. I updated to 0.13. And it was really easy. But I'm also not using, because I know that the parts of the engine that are undergoing a lot of change right now, and I'm just not using them. Somebody in the previous live stream shared their experience with like updating the UI, which was a nightmare because they had to like rewrite the entire thing basically. So you know, it varies from person to person. 0.14 will be out any day now, I think. That's awesome. Cannot wait. I genuinely don't know what's new in that version, but I'm gonna read through the changelog. Thoughts on you changing from C# to Rust? How is it using a systems language from a scripting language? I don't think calling C# a scripting language is like a bit of a downplay of the language, I think. I don't know. I like Rust. I understand the hype. C# was a nice language, but wasn't really designed for low-level programming, which is generally what you do with games, partially, right? Because like any game can be separated into like the engine part and then the gameplay part. So C# is a really good language when it comes to like quickly scripting like one-off things related to the gameplay. But when it comes to like working on the custom renderer, for example, it wasn't really that nice of an experience. I don't know. I don't miss C#, I guess. I would need to think about this to, like, you know, give some actual valuable takeaways from my Switch. Anyway, this is a reset material now. So technically we don't need this. We're gonna need a different shader, some reset shader, I guess. And then the question is, how low can we put in this material? Or maybe there's already, I wouldn't be surprised if there's already a material that just takes a shader. I came from Unreal Development Kit and Kismet, then went to Unity and C#, but went back to UE5 because I like its framework better myself. Learning C++ is not bad with UE. Is that how you say that? Unreal Engine framework. But ... Yeah, I actually really enjoyed my time in Unreal Engine as well. I would love to make a game in Unreal Engine someday. Maybe after Astortion. If I'd make a game from scratch, I'd look into Odin myself. It does sound interesting. Material 2D plugin. What do you want? You want a Material 2D trait, which requires as binding group. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is basically what we are doing. It does require the binding group. I wonder, but I do want to, hold on. No, I think it has to be this way. I don't think there's, I think this, if all I want is just a custom shader, it's probably the best way to do it this way. Right, and what is the problem here? Expected a struct with named fields. Ooh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's a derive macro. Hold on. The 2D story in Unreal Engine is pretty bad though, with the seemingly abandoned paper 2D stuff. Oh yeah, I know that. I mean, I don't know if something changed about this, but I'd like to make a 3D game in Unreal Engine. I would definitely not want to make a 2D game. It feels like an overkill. Although who knows, maybe it's different now. Okay. This is what I want to take a look at. So it does a lot of things. Does it mean that if I just make it into an empty kind of thing with no fields, would that work? It would. Okay, that's interesting. We can leave it like that. Reset shader. Here we go. where are my assets? Okay, just shamelessly copy the field shader. We probably don't need all of this complexity as well. Although sign distance field for a line, that's gonna be useful. Probably now as I think of it, probably a lot of this can be reused. Okay, so I'm assuming since there is a binding there, even though it's empty, it probably is gonna expect us to define it here, right? Reset material. It's just not gonna have any fields. We'll see actually if it crashes. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I need to leave. Best of luck with the game and good night to everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great sleep. Okay, we need to set up the material, I think, because right now it's not being used by anything. Yeah, this is not gonna be a color material, it's gonna be a reset material. Can I just do this? No. Is there a default? Yeah, there is. Yeah, that should work. This seems to be old, or maybe not. Oh, it's a different asset, and that's a mutable asset. Okay, that's a problem. I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. We can just do this. Yeah. Now we get a nice little crash. That's awesome. Reset material does not exist in the world. Would you look at that? Let's add a plugin in here. So that it's actually registered. And then probably, hold on, probably materials plugin is in here. Yeah, so it needs to be later because it's also gonna crash. Because the order matters, because they're gonna be initialized in that order, and materials plugin will require the reset material wherever it is here. Okay, here we go. Now we get some nice little shader errors that we can take care of. Reset shader. Okay, so first of all, can I just get rid of this? And will it continue to work? It will, apparently. Okay, so this is up and this is right. What are we doing here? Position vector 2 plus 10. Okay, we're projecting onto I don't think we need to do that. Although maybe we could. Hold on, let's leave it in here. Let's make up and we'll just define it as 1.0, 1.0 normalize. So that's gonna be diagonal. Okay, and then the direction is just gonna be what? I think we can just like modify Y, see what's gonna happen. Do we use the material anywhere else? No, okay, so let's get rid of this as well. Okay, is that not how you, hold on, that's not, I don't think that's how you do things in shaders. Okay, awesome, something is being rendered. Let's go take a look. Okay, so this is the field shader right now. Going up, that's awesome. Now all we need to do is change this line into a singular one. So this is gonna be one line, yeah, and now we just need to make it long enough. So if grid is 20, I guess it's just gonna be like -10, 0, and then 10 and 0. Okay, maybe it's actually -20. Can probably simplify it a lot because there's a lot of things. Okay, we're getting there. A lot of things that are just there for the sake of being there, you know. Bevy OPA 14 gets animation blending, bunch of 3D rendering features, revamped color extract, observers and hooks for ECS, automatically respond to component addition and removal, more app state tools. Okay, so I know about the color revamp. The 3D rendering stuff doesn't really affect me. I do wonder about the component addition and removal, and also the app state tools. I'm gonna have to look into that because I think there's already a like auto-generated changelog, right? Oh, hold on. It's not in the news. Where is it? It's like in the migration guide, right? No, there's still not. There's still no guide here. Oh, something is wrong with the highlight here. Interesting. Because last time the 0.13 was like released before the actual post, right? Because the post is like authored by the community, and this I think is just auto-generated based on the commit messages, maybe. Cat by Yam, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a little shader for our area. that resets the teleportation for the player. So like if I leave a teleporter here and then walk through it, it destroys it. Their low-level animation graph looks all around way more powerful. Yeah, I know, no doubt in that. It's just not something that I use, right? Because I'm using hand-drawn animations. Okay, so let's make it thicker. This is gonna be probably like 1 pixel, and 1 pixel is like 4 in the coordinate space of the world, I think. Maybe? No, I don't think that's correct. Is 1 pixel just 1? Maybe. Let's make it straight and see for ourselves. Yeah, it seems like 1 is just 1 pixel. That's interesting. Why would that be the case? Oh wait, no, it makes sense. Of course 1 is 1 pixel. I'm stupid. That's the scale that we're using. Okay, so now we just need to make them denser. How's it going? Also, happy Sunday to you specifically. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday to you too. Despite the fact that it's like Tuesday. And it's going good. It's what? It's Tuesday, isn't it? Oh no, it is Sunday. Okay, never mind. Apologies. I don't know why I thought it's Tuesday already. That's a good thing, actually. Sorry, I'm watching with a 2-minute delay. I'm just pulling this from their GitHub. The announcement post is still getting drafted up. No, it's okay. No worries. I thought I time traveled or something. No, it's just me having no concept of time. Okay. So let's just make the grid too and see what's gonna happen. Ooh, that looks nice. It probably does not look nice on the live stream. But I do kind of like it. What if we make it 4? So it's less dense. Ooh, maybe. Barbershop Paul, yeah. It's exactly the look I'm going for. This is actually, if you've seen the thumbnail for today's video, I planned all of this. Okay, but I do wonder about the color. Maybe the color could be a little bit different. Where's the color going? Where's the color coming from? I don't actually know. Output color is here. And then it's like black. Oh, because, okay, so it's just black with transparency. Okay. Pre-recorded confirmed, yes. Absolutely. Okay, let's try to come up with some nice color then. Let me see. Okay, so here's the color palette. This is actually the newer version that we're currently using. I believe this is it. I actually don't know what the theme color is, because it's something bluish. Okay, but this is damage. So now, what if reset was yellow? That's my idea. We'll see, but I feel like it may be too bright. Okay, there's no way there's no way for me to get the values. $255, 167. That I can copy this one. Oh, we need to get the better hex macro sorted out. Now as I think of it, I was recently experimenting with the try blocks, which is like a nightly feature behind the feature flag, and it turns out it's really easy to enable them, so we can play around with like floating point constant expression thingies and see if we can make the hex macro working at compile time. Anyway, what have I just done? Where is the shader? No, that's the wrong shader. Here it is. Okay, we changed the color. The color now looks like this, but that's because the alpha is lowered. Ooh, no, I hate, oh my god. My eyes hate that. No, it's definitely much better as this little thingy. Subtle yet visible. Maybe we can make it a little more visible. Yeah, I think that's cool. Yeah, I approve of this. I'm red-green colorblind, by the way, if you need a check for that. Those look different enough. That's good to know. But also, I feel like the shape alone is enough, right? Because we don't have anything else like this. Can you like see this, for example? Is the contrast good enough? Because I feel like as long as the contrast is okay, the colors don't matter, right? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Would be nice to simplify this though. There's a lot of unnecessary math, I think. Like say we don't want to rotate this, we're gonna end up with this. And then instead we could do this, right? No, it wouldn't work like that. Hold on. We do need to rotate. Yeah, whatever, let's leave it like that. I do kind of wanna extract this to a separate file, just for the sake of seeing how to do that in whatever preprocessor Bevy is using. See, because I remember seeing it somewhere. cool material. Oh, I'm using it myself. Here it is. Right, so we can import something using this pragma thingy. I guess the question is how. Here are the bindings. Define import path. Okay. And then we just do this. And then we can import it, I guess. Let's see. Define import path. It's gonna be I wonder how does it know? Does it read every single shader file beforehand and registers everything? Interesting. This is an environment, if I could spell that. Or do I need this actually? Can I just call it like Astortion or like AST, SDL? Make it as difficult to decipher as possible. All present for future me. Okay. And now I should be able to just steal this function. Put it in here. And maybe import it. Required import not found. Okay. Does it have to follow some like crate structure naming convention? Gonna look up this directive, I guess. Okay, I believe this is what Bevy uses, right? Shaders can be added to the composer as modules. This makes their types, constants, variables, and functions available to modules shaders that import them. Note that importing a module will affect the final shader's global state if the module defines global variables with bindings that names the module. Okay, hold on. Is it because they define globals and I'm defining a function, so I need something to like export a function? Maybe. Hold on. View types, no. No, it's just abstract. Overriding functions. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm not sure what's wrong with this. Or does it have to be in the source directory? Hold on, let's try doing that. So if I put it in not in Blender, hold on. If I put it in shared, let's put it on the at the top level for now. And then the export path would be shared SDL. Okay, I'm gonna restart the game, see if it changes something maybe. No, it still doesn't see this as a valid import path. Oh, and I've lost the material 2D. Okay, hold on. So this is directly in Mesh 2D. Yeah, but the import path is like completely different, because import path is like Bevy sprite and then Mesh 2D bindings, which is the file name, but the file name is like in a subdirectory. Wait, did I edit the wrong file? Hold on. Could be. No, I did not. Okay. Oh well. Eventually I will figure this out, I guess. For now, let's just keep it in the same file, like so. But I'd call this success when it comes to resetting the player's teleporter. Okay, so to do reset material, plugin, materials, the library, okay. This is not necessary, and the shaders are very much necessary, okay. Collection can stay. All right, but it's been over an hour, so I need to take a little break. I'm gonna be back in 6 minutes and see you then. Okay, welcome back. What are we doing? Coding something, presumably. Cube resetting, destroying, I guess, would be nice to take care of. Okay, so let's maybe get rid of these doors for now. Bring this area down so it's closer. Easier to test, I guess. Yeah, so now we want to destroy this cube. And ideally not crash the game while doing so. I believe the player will figure this out. If the entity that we're holding no longer exists, it should gracefully go back to like the normal state. Okay, so this should be really easy as well because we already attached the component to the cube. We just need a little system that will figure this out. Check availability, fix pre-update. That's actually perfect. Handle reset area. So, except we don't really want to despawn the cube, and that's gonna be the biggest issue, right? Because we probably want this thing to remain the spawner that just like spawns the cube, and then the cube would be a different entity, and then we can destroy that entity. And then it gets like respawned here. That does introduce a few problems. And then the same thing happens when we destroy it. So it's basically the same thing. We're resetting and destroying a cube. It's gonna amount to the same thing. Okay. So for now, let's just remove it, see what's gonna happen. So I need the entity, and then the filter is gonna be with cube. And then or, I guess, with is reset, or with is taking damage, or just taking damage, yeah. And then some commands. I was curious because this is common. Have you had any interesting stuttering problems? Can you give me an example of that? I'm not sure what you mean by this. Commands entity despawn. Probably don't need to despawn recursive, although maybe. No, it doesn't have any children, so we don't need to worry about that. I guess we can just to make sure, right? This one recursive. Like entities stuttering during movement or transforms not propagating on time. Yeah, we did have an issue with physics. You know, the cube, while being picked up, it would stutter. It was a nuanced problem, but now I don't remember what the solution was. It was something more than system ordering, I think. I don't remember. I think the Spring implementation was wrong, if I remember correctly, because we would override velocity instead of adding the change in velocity. Okay, nothing is happening because I did not register the system. But yeah, we definitely had them. I'm also avoiding a lot of the issues with transform propagation by just not really having deep hierarchies. So most of the main components, like the player, the camera, they are top level. They don't really move with anything else. So I'm just using, you know, the normal transform, not the global transform. And it's definitely making my life much easier. Oh wait, no, I did add this system. No, that's interesting. Could it be that the query never matches anything? Could be. Maybe there is no collision events being triggered by that particular pair, cube versus an area trigger. Let's see what is going on here. Cube is right here. Okay. Yeah, it's like it doesn't get any events from that. I just realized we're gonna have to handle like curve ranges together with custom colliders. Oh my god, this is gonna be a pain. It's gonna be a pain for the future me, I guess. Okay, so could it be that the... Oh, it's definitely that, because you need to enable events on the player, and that's what we... Not on the player, on the entity that you want to have the events triggered. Yeah, active events. So we probably want the cube to also have that. Okay, still nothing. Oh, there's one issue. We can set the teleporter while inside of a reset area. Probably should not be the case. Okay, but the cube is not getting any any events. That's a bummer. Let's try to debug this maybe. Wait, we don't want to pause here. We want to pause here. So when either of the entities is on area reset. Okay. Okay, so that's the player. And the cube does not. Does not register any event. What's wrong with the cube? Collision groups, entity, terrain, sensor, entity, sensor, terrain. Okay, I see the problem. Area trigger probably, yeah, only triggers for the player, which it shouldn't. Just me being lazy, I guess. Oh, I wonder if it's gonna break other things. I hope we didn't rely on that. On the fact that, you know, area triggers only trigger for the player. That still does not work. Entity sensor, and the cube is entity sensor. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a bundle. Okay, I see the problem. So I need to refresh the Blender file so the triggers are actually recreated. Okay, here we go. And now it's gone forever. Let's quickly make some damage in here just to test something. Oh wait, I'm not gonna be able to test this. Not like that. It is somehow very curious seeing the character jump. It do be like that sometimes. Okay, I need to try and drop the cube in here. Okay, cube's gone. Now if we can just find a way to nicely spawn the cube by the spawner, keep track of the cube, somehow make it work with hot reload, because that's gonna be the biggest pain in the A to make it work. So currently, the way we load levels relies on the fact that all of them end up in the entity map, wherever that is, right here. And then we just iterate over the entity map and we despawn them recursively. So any entity that was spawned from the Blender file will be destroyed, and also any children of that will be destroyed. But a spawned cube is not gonna be any of those. It's gonna be a new entity, not related to the entity map. And it's also not gonna be parented to anything else. I think what we need is another component that will denote the relation between like entities and scenes. And it is going to be helpful later once we get to the point of loading multiple scenes separately. Because we will definitely need a way to keep track, like, oh, this entity belongs to that scene and this entity belongs to the other scene, without an explicit parent to child relation. Because I know that we could technically parent everything under the scene and be like, oh, you are a scene and you are the root of everything. But I don't want to go in that direction because working with transform hierarchy is much more difficult. I really like the way Blender does it, where's Blender? Where like a collection is not really a part of the scene graph. It's just sort of like a group. So you can have the terminal in here and it's also in here. It's not like it's parented to that collection. I would kind of like the collections in Astortion to work the same way. So let's make something like owning. Wait, owning collection. I don't actually know if there's a way of calling it that would make sense, because there's gonna be a component on the entity that denotes this entity's owning collection. It's not a collection that the entity is owning. It's the collection that's owning the entity. I don't think there's a way of describing the specific direction of this relation. Maybe we could call it owner collection. Or maybe collection reference. I was just gonna say owner collection. Yeah, I like that too. Let's implement owner collection. Public function get. I wonder if they have like a derive macro for this in Bevy. I wouldn't be surprised, because I've seen this pattern a lot where they have like a wrapper struct and then they have the get and set methods. It's way easier to work with components and resources this way because you don't need to dereference them twice. Because you could technically just implement the ref, right? Or derive the ref. But then you need to dereference them twice and it looks ugly. Reflect component, okay. Nice. Insert resource, add systems. Register type. Also, why is collection not registered? Okay, so for now we're gonna implement it this way. What does reflect trait do? Derives reflection. It allows you to register this type in the type registry, and then Bevy can like deserialize this. If you have like an inspector implementation, it can inspect the resource and stuff like that. Like here, can go to resources, for example, and you know, see what's inside of, I don't know, player spawn point. And I can modify it as well. It's a Bevy thing, right? It comes from Bevy. Oh, I cannot, why cannot I register this as a type? What's up with that? It doesn't have reflect. It's probably because of this, okay. Okay, but right now we don't need the entity. So I don't know, because right now collection is just like one giant resource because there's only one scene, and I didn't bother, you know, implementing multiple scene handling because it's not necessary for the playtest. Yeah, so for now we're just gonna treat this as a normal component, I guess, with nothing else going for it, and then we're gonna add the actual reference to a collection once we have more than one collection, which I actually cannot wait for that, because it seems like a fun thing to implement. Okay, anyway, owner collection. Let's take a look at the cube spawner. I'm gonna have an option with a reference to the cube. Okay, so now we're gonna iterate over that. We don't need the entity in here. What do we need? We need the spawner itself, and we probably need some reference to the global transform of that spawner. Okay, and then instead of entity, I'm just gonna do spawn. And here we're gonna need some spatial bundle from transform. And just copy this transform. Or maybe not. Expected transform found global transform. Yeah, whatever. Can you not convert this? seems like you can. Okay. So now if spawner.cube is some, we're just gonna return continue. I'm thinking about implementing this because what we also need is a way to find out like, oh, the cube got destroyed. So technically I can just use this system to check that as well. But my mind immediately goes to like a better, quote unquote, better approach where like the cube would store a reference to the spawner and then the spawner would be notified about that. But it feels like a really over the top way of doing it. Just gonna get another query with cubes. Literally an empty query because all we need to do is spawner.cube map entity, and then we're gonna do cubes contains. Yeah, perfect. Entity. And then unwrap or default. Also, I was a few live streams ago, I was talking about having a default for entity, and I was reading through the source code the other day, and there is technically this thing that's called placeholder, and it just stores an entity with like maximum index, which is not the default, but like it's there. Apparently, you can use it. But I don't think there are any guarantees that it's not gonna be taken by something eventually. Though if you reach the last index, I'm pretty sure you have worse problems if you're running out of 32 bits for your entities. Anyway, what are we gonna do then? We're gonna do spawner.cube is equal to sum, and then the commands is gonna go in here. We're not gonna remove any spawner, we're just gonna take the ID, and that's it. This is gonna spawn a brand new cube in the position of the spawner if the cube doesn't exist. And then we're also gonna add the little collection, owner collection. I'm gonna go back to the collection, and then here I'm gonna do a little for entity in world query let's query for entity with owner collection. I guess we're gonna just pass it here. I don't know if there's like if there's a performance penalty for using filtered instead of just query. Gonna use this because it's quicker to type. And then we're gonna iterate. Or maybe not. Is there no function for that? What do you return? Query state. Okay, hold on. How do you run a query? Oh wait, it's incorrect. That needs to be a reference. This has to be mutable. Then we do query iterate world entity. We don't care about this. And we can do the exact same thing here, maybe. Ooh, it may not be possible. Yeah, I cannot take world as mutable inside of this. I'm gonna need to gather this into an array first. Let's map this so we don't take any references, just the entity. Collect this into some vector, I guess. And now we can do the exact same thing here. For entities slice like this. Or maybe we can even, can we consume the array in here? Is this doable? Because we're not using it afterwards. Yeah, okay, so this should technically destroy all of the entities that are owned by a collection. Ooh, it's the issue here. That's not mutable, okay. No, it is mutable. Oh, the query is not mutable, okay. Oh, and the this needs to be mutable as well. Okay, now it should work. Where is this coming from? This an unnecessary import out of nowhere. Excuse me, it's adjusting the mic. Ooh, okay, that's a nice little crash. This is something, this is a bit annoying because I can already guess what the crash is caused by. We need to re-export the scenes. And I was thinking about this because that's a really common problem, because you change the type definition and then it doesn't work. But there's no way to detect that because Bevy just panics when it cannot deserialize a component using reflection. No registration found for option entity. Okay. Valid reason. Okay, now we have the cube in here, and if we destroy it, it's gonna reappear. Okay, but something is wrong with the player's state, because I need to press E twice, so it probably thinks that it's still holding something, which it isn't. Let's see if that's the case. Holdable state, currently that's 3. Now we're holding something. And now we are still holding something, it's just that the entity no longer exists. Okay, and then that's why I need to press E twice. Once to release and then once to grab again. So why is that? Update holdable, holding entity, entity. If let OK, and then there's no else. Okay, let's rewrite this a little bit. I'm gonna do let OK like this, and then there's gonna be an else. Gonna move this up here, and then we'll be able to return like so. Okay, what is the problem? Oh, there's no. And there is no semicolon. So now we can handle this somehow. Can I say just enter? There is no entity, so we probably just leave the state. If I could find where we do that. Vector length. Okay, who's updating this? Oh wait, is it updated here? Update interactable. Consume pressed. Yeah, holding entity. Why is it this way though? Player holdable state. This is weirdly spread it across multiple functions. It should be handled here. That would be much better. Just move it in here. Gotta go. Have a nice stream. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day. I'm gonna put it in here and then we're gonna return. We just need the input in this system. So it sort of better follows other state machines that we have. This can be an if let instead of a match. This is much simpler. Okay, so now this updates the free state, and then this is gonna update the holdable state. Okay, and we don't have the next state. Mutable player, current state, mutable, next state, get single mutable. Okay. Now that should work just fine. Okay, I can pick it up, I can drop it down. gets destroyed, then I pick it up immediately, all right? And then it respawns. So the final test would be to reload the scene, right? So let's move this somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, seems legit. There's something weird going on with the terminal. Hold on. Yeah, because cubes switch depending on whether or not they are currently focused. But the terminal, like here, I'm currently targeting the cube, but the terminal is still highlighted. That's kind of an interesting little glitch. Draw terminal, why are you doing this? It shouldn't be available, it should be focused. Yeah, now it's correct. Correct, well, almost correct. There's still some things that we need to figure out. Like the fact that if I run and the cube is too far away, it will still get highlighted. So we should probably have some special handling for that case. Wherever focus is being updated. Okay, but I'm just gonna add this to the to-do list. What's important is that this works. So that would be resetting. Destroying is gonna be a bit more difficult. I'm gonna take care of that in just a second. Let's commit these changes so far. To do holdable. Collection. Okay. Oh, that's. Hold on. Can I modify that? No, wait. I don't want to do that actually. Because it automatically staged all of the changes. Oh well, it's gonna be a weird message. Okay, cube destroying, that's gonna require finding which point on the cube is like close enough to damage range like this one, which you cannot see right now. But there is a damage range that kills the player, and we want it to also destroy the cube. Like this one here. So my current idea is pretty straightforward, right? Because the damage range is based on a spline. It's not really a collider. So we should be able to just query rapier for all of the different collisions, or not collisions, how are they called? Contact points on the cube. Right, and then we can just perform the search for the contact points and see like, oh, is this contact point close enough to the damage range, right? Because we do have a mechanism for this, which is pretty fast. Maybe not the fastest in the world, but it does like the AABB check, and then it queries the range if we're actually in the AABB. So that's what I think that's what we should do. And then when you drop the cube onto this, it's gonna kill not only us but also the cube. Okay, let me actually bring the cube in here so we can test it. So right now it's just gonna remain, yeah, in here, and we want it to die. That's the plan. Okay, but we're gonna take care of this after the break. I'm gonna be back in 6 minutes, as always. Okay, we are back. Doing what? Oh, the damage curves, yeah, okay. So I set up the hot reload for the gameplay systems because I feel like we're gonna experimenting a lot. We're gonna be experimenting a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so where's systems? Okay. Can add this here for now. Update damage range. Okay, plugin. It doesn't really matter where we do that, because it's not really related to the player. Just wants to have the ability to hot reload this. Let's see. So I think we're gonna need the context, right? Rapier context. And then what? Maybe another resource query. I guess for now we can just query over the cubes specifically. So entity with cube. For entity and query. And then also we're gonna need the damage ranges. So there's a curve range query. And the filter is gonna be with damage range. No, it's just damage. Is there no? I guess so. There is no damage range apparently. Okay, so now we should be able to just do context, contact pairs with. All the contact pairs involving the non-sensor collider attached to the given entity. Okay. Let's go with it. What do you return? Iterator. Okay, so for pair in this thing. And what do we have inside of you? Collider handles. Manifolds. I guess we're gonna have to iterate over them as well. Because then each contact manifold has a contact. Yeah, so this is how we get the contacts. Oh yeah, that's so nested, deeply nested. So again, I guess we can do a little early out. I don't know how helpful that would be though. In the current situation, probably not really helpful. But I guess we can do a little query in here for curves. No, not curve point, curve. Ooh, why is there no option for that? Hold on. It's called curve points. Is this not available publicly? That's interesting. Crazy if true. No, it is public. Okay, I think I'm going crazy. Why is this not showing curve points? You are directly in the environment. Or maybe it's not exported from within the environment. Yeah, that could be the case. Okay, so let's leave that for later. Contact in pair dot manifolds. So no, first we need to do manifold. And then for contact in manifold. The contacts that will be seen by the constraint solver for computing forces. Solver contacts. Okay, what's the point of that whole like wrapping in a view? I guess they're implementing some like additional, yeah, helper methods on top of that. Okay. Because inside of RA, there is no... Oh, there is just contacts. And here it's called solver contacts, but under the hood, like what's the difference? Okay, contacts is just points. Okay, I'm not sure which one I should use. Let's go with solver contacts, since that's technically the only thing that we have access to from within the view without accessing the raw manifold. So now you have the solver contact. World space contact point. Oh, that's awesome. That's really, really helpful. Now we can do damage ranges, closest, Okay, I need a refresher. How is the player using that? This is walkables, and the damage is doing this. Okay, should probably have this extracted somewhere. Yeah, it's 13 and then false. But it's only 13 because it accounts for the player's radius, which maybe it shouldn't. Hold on, let me check something else. So here, walkables is just using straight up 20 as the distance. And here's using 16. Okay, that's it's a bit confusing. Because it should probably be based on the player's radius. For the player, it doesn't really matter here. Here I guess we can just look for like 1. And don't clamp. And the position is just this. Do you require a 3D position? Yeah. Extend this. Just realized we are like 4 for loops deep, and I'm gonna need to break, but only like the first 3. I wonder if there's something. Is there a way to do that in Rust, like something like this? So I want to break this one and this one and this one, but not this one. I guess we should extract this to a function, probably. We'll see. There's loop labels like so. Label. Oh, that is really good to know. And can I then just use the label in here? So we're gonna do contacts like this. Oh wait, there's this with an apostrophe, yeah. Just notice. Break contacts. That's some next level programming. Okay, so what do you return? An option? Yeah. Let some. We don't even need the information. I think we can just do is some. That's all we care about. And this is when we're gonna break this for loop. Okay, something is not going well. Why is it highlighted like that? Oh, okay, now it works. So then finally mute commands. No, don't do that. I keep pressing tab for like the recommendations when typing the name, but then it just imports some random module that's called this way. Commands entity, insert, taking damage. Should be all. Let's maybe add a little debug here, so that we know that something is happening. Okay. Okay. It's not necessarily working. Trying to test it without dying. Okay. That's fun. I guess I can just put this here and it's just gonna die continuously. Hi, I remember you trying out learning Vim bindings. Are you still trying it, or is it not as much of a priority anymore? So it's never been a priority. I am sort of learning how to use the keyboard formally. And once I can get to some like reasonable typing speed, I'm gonna switch to, I wanna try out Helix. Not NeoVim. So it is on the schedule somewhere. I'm trying to get there. I'm not sure when it's gonna happen. Okay, let's see if we're even iterating over some contacts, if the contacts are even being registered, because it may be the case of... Oh, no, they are. Okay. All right. That's fun. Let's try to debug this with a gizmo. Just to sort of see what's going on. If we do a circle 2D at this position, like a radius of 2, and then color red, I guess. Or maybe white. Maybe green should stand out, because the damaged areas are already red. Okay, so they are here. What's up with that? Do they even come from this cube? What's gonna happen if we move it here? Okay, there may be coming from this cube instead, I think. Let's just remove it. Okay, so there's like one contact in here. Okay, idea. It's not multiplied by the physics scale. Crazy if true. Okay, yeah, here we go. Still doesn't work though. But at least we're... Oh no, it doesn't work because I didn't multiply the other one. Okay, set this up like that, and then... It's kind of sad. I was hoping that because the solver contact view... Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Because the manifold view has a reference to the context. So I thought that it would do the conversion, but it doesn't pass it to the context, so there is no way for it to do that. Okay, hello. Are we working? Not necessarily. There's only one contact. Okay, that Seems to be working. So the plugin is calling this here. And then this is called in fixed pre-update. Okay, so here's the problem, I think. Because damage is... No, it happens in fixed first. And then fixed post-update, we clear it. Okay, I see the problem. And then the cube, when is the cube being updated? And fixed pre-update. Okay, so there's a problem. Okay, so for now, I believe roundabout fix. Let's just put this in fixed update. And that should work just fine. I really need to switch to sets for the fixed updates, because right now they're using schedules and it's just a nightmare to work with. There it goes. Dying eternally. Okay, so we don't need this debug, we don't need the gizmo. Can just put this cube in here, and now if we do all dying, the cube is gonna die with us. Suppose one thing that we should probably do is not let it die when it's following us, because that would be annoying, I think, if we go through that. We're gonna try to make it happen. No, I don't think it's possible. I mean, it's probably possible, but it's probably difficult to do. But if we could make it so that the cube touches the wall, but we don't, the cube is gonna die. And we're gonna survive. Yeah, but so far so good. This is a nice little solid system. Let's take it home where it belongs, at least for now. What renderer are you using, by the way? What do you mean? The game is rendered using Bevy's default mesh 2D approach with like the default 2D pipeline, and then the UI is rendered using Velo. Okay, now we can do this. We can put it back in here. Chain them. Okay, and that's it. It should work. If we just add the missing imports in here. I mean, the API WGPU uses Vulkan. It depends on the platform. Bevy does use WGPU, yeah. It uses, I believe it uses SPIR-V, or however you pronounce that, and then that's like compiled to whatever the target supports. So it's gonna be Metal on macOS, and Vulkan or like Linux on Linux, and I think DirectX on Windows. I think, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, okay, that works. We could probably maybe later move it somewhere else, because it's probably not gonna remain, you know, explicit or exclusive to the cube. Okay, damage cube to do. Cube destroying, that's awesome. Okay, what's next on the menu? Okay, let's maybe cross out this one, because it feels like something quick and simple. So here's focusing, update interactable focus. Controller.interactable is equal to none. Okay. And then we're iterating over everything, trying to find the best match. If not available, continue. Okay, so if not available, or we're gonna need to access the player's state. Player holdable state right here. Holdable state, and now we can do let holding matches, probably. Holdable state, player holdable state. What do we want here? Holding. Okay, if this is not available, or if we're already holding something, we're gonna continue. And then if let some entity. Oh, interactable is an option, but holdable state is not an option. Okay, never mind. If let some entity, some player holdable state, holding entity, no, is equal to holdable state. Also, we're missing a get up here. We're gonna do controller. Control.interactable is equal to some entity. What's your problem? Oh, there is no sum. Okay. And this needs to be the reference. Oh, expected player interactable, found entity. What is player interactable? Oh, it requires the variant. Oh my god, that's gonna be difficult. Okay, different idea. Let holding is equal to match holdable state.get holding entity. That's gonna be some entity, otherwise it's gonna be none. I don't know if there's like a simpler way to write this out. It feels like there would be, but I have no idea. Okay, or holding map, hold the entity that's currently being held is equal to the current entity. Is different than the current entity. And then unwrap or default. Okay, so we're gonna skip if we are holding something and that something is not this thing. Okay, we need to go back to the terminal to test this out. Let's take this here. Oh, okay. For some reason, resetting breaks the camera when I do that during hot reload. I'm gonna have to look into this. Yeah, okay. You probably cannot see that, but like in this situation, the terminal is no longer highlighted. The cube is gonna be highlighted forever, which is good. Exactly what we want for as long as we're holding it. Okay. What next? Conservation of energy is kind of interesting. But also I have no idea how to implement that. I would need to think about this. I wanna do that on the live stream. Teleport flexibility, progression. Teleport availability indication. That's also interesting. So we need some menu navigation input hints. Could also take care of that. Guess we could do some UI work today because it's not too challenging in terms of like thinking. Do I have Affinity Designer somewhere? I don't think so. Hold on. So input hints for menu navigation, that's this thing. The cool thing about it is that it's not really stateful, right? You can't really focus on them or anything. So we should be able to just implement them as like an immediate mode thingy, which is gonna render them directly to Velo. Maybe, though we may need some backup entities for that because there is some little visual happening whenever the button is pressed. So maybe it's not gonna be that straightforward, but we'll see. And then the indication, this is no longer relevant. So this is this one is when you don't have a teleport, but you can use it, and this is when you have a teleport. This is when you don't have a teleport, but you can set it somewhere, and this is when you have it already somewhere, and you can teleport back to it. And we would need a third state for when we cannot set a teleport. We don't have a teleport and we cannot set a new one for one reason or another. And I'm thinking maybe, what if we just shrink this down? This may not be enough of an indication though. I don't know about that. Shrinking the shape behind it. Especially since the shape is not really that visible. It may not be visible depending on the background. Stroke instead of fill. I don't like it visually. But maybe we could just like get rid of this entirely. And just have that little rotating line here. Oh, can I not change the... Interesting. Yeah, but this rotates towards the gravity. Then maybe this could be bigger when the circle is not there. And look like a little clock. This would definitely be visible. Because the background is just for a contrast to make sure that this is... Even if you like have a really bright background in the back, this will make this visible always, but this itself doesn't have to be visible. In fact, yeah, like right here, it's really barely visible. Yeah, I think we can get rid of the circle and then have the circle like, oh, you have this, and then you don't have this when there is no circle. We could try that. Could be fun. But first I'll break. Oh, itsy bitsy 6 minutes break. I'm gonna be back and we're gonna do it. All right, welcome back. Let me start the interface hot reload. Okay. Before we do that though, we need to set up the HUD information, I think. What do we have here? Gravity teleport. Gravity teleport. Let's rename this to teleport set. And then teleport available. Hold on. Teleport. Yeah, okay. I can spell sometimes, I think. Okay, and then now let's go to wherever this is updated. Right here. Teleport set. And then teleport available. What is it gonna be? I don't think we have information for that. Because it's sort of stored by the... No, it is in the controller somewhere. Is it like can teleport or something? Oh, it is. Did you look at that? Yeah, and there's also a function. Okay, let's use the function because it's probably more correct, quote unquote. Okay, now we can go to the rendering section, take care of that. Okay, so there's probably a way to reuse this code because what I'm doing right now is rendering this little gizmo once with like the dark theme and then second time with the light theme, except second time is being clipped to sort of support the transition. So I feel like this could be extracted to like one function, especially since here there's gonna be some more logic. So teleport available. Only then do we want to render the circle. Should be pretty straightforward. And then we will need some spring for that. A spring or a duration, whatever that is. Okay, so let's try using it. It's gonna be unavailable for a second here. But yeah, that is the case. Okay, but I don't like that it waits. It waits for the teleportation to be done. It's gonna mess up the transition a little bit. But we can probably fix that if we go to the teleport state. Or maybe not. Hold on. Where's the set teleport? Teleport location. This is when this is set up. Okay, and then do teleport is invoked here, and then can teleport is set to false. Right after we set the teleport. Okay. So I think we just need to consume the teleport immediately. And that would be it. Or maybe there's some better way of handling that. Can't teleport. Yeah, I guess we just need to write this ourselves with a slight exception. So we're gonna do controller can teleport or controller teleport location is some. Oh, hold on, we can just reuse this. Like that. In fact, we can just do it in the rendering function. Okay, this is gonna be much easier. Available is gonna be equal to data dot teleport available or data dot teleport set. It's gonna keep them in sync. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, it's disappearing immediately. So now we just need a little animation for that. And we can probably reuse the same logic as this duration. Could be like set duration and then available duration. It's whatever. Maybe it's gonna call it animation. I'm gonna turn this into a vector 2. It's gonna be a bit easier, and then we can decay to a vector 2. And use the same transition. So this is going to be X, and then for Y, we're going to use available 1, 0. And then scale, it's just going to be animation.x. It's going to give us exactly the same thing. Hey, this is off topic, but what Visual Studio Code theme do you use? It looks very nice. That's the default one. I know next to nothing about Visual Studio Code, so this is like the way it was when I opened it. And then the only thing that I changed is that I have custom icons for files that I shamelessly took with me from IntelliJ. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, JetBrains icon theme. And I also have some tab settings changed so that the tabs wrap and are smaller. But these are all like default settings somewhere in here. Yeah, wrap tabs and then compact height. So without this, the tabs don't wrap. I guess I don't have enough of them. And that's pretty much all the customization that I did. Thank you, no problem, you got it. Okay, so this is gonna be, let's call it theme. It shouldn't be scale because it's not really scale. Let's call it time. And then let radius time. This is gonna be animation.y. This line, that's not what I want. That's, yeah, circle outline. And radius is gonna be 18 times this, maybe. This may not work when the circle has like 0 radius, but we'll see. Oh no, it's gonna work. Oh, that's so convenient. Because if we change the size to like 0, it will still technically be a dot. Oh, I guess it doesn't work this way in Affinity. Oh, Affinity does not really like that. But yeah, it's gonna be a dot, but it's gonna be aligned with the center of this thing right here. So it's not gonna be a problem. Yeah, so we have some nice smooth transitions. Oh wait, hold on, that's kind of interesting. Why is this transition happening? I guess, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah, because it does disappear because we are using the teleporter for like 200 milliseconds. We can't really... That is fun. I like it though. This is some like emergent animations. I don't understand this one though. Hello, just watched your entire dev series the other day. Really inspiring stuff. I'm not a game dev myself, but I find that your work encourages me to chase my dreams and work hard. Good luck to you. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you, and good luck to you too. Trying to replicate this and I cannot. You can jump now? Yeah, I'm sorry. I betrayed everybody. I don't know if this is gonna land in the final game. Most likely yes. This is what I've done after the first batch of playtesting, because a lot of people didn't like the fact that you cannot jump. So now there is jumping, but the jumping is really... It's not really, you know, vertically impressive. So you can use it to jump over like pits left and right. But when you want to like get somewhere higher, you still need to use, you know, the anchors. So this is kind of cool because I added jumping to the playtesting level and nothing really changed. Like the addition of jumping doesn't really break anything here. But it does open the door to some cool mechanics, like the fact that you can now detach yourself from walkable walls, right? So I can go here and then drop myself down, stuff like that. It is a bit more fun in the puzzle playtest, which I cannot show you just yet. Because this ability to like jump over pits and like change direction is kind of useful. Sticking to the ground constantly does feel like a bit more original. But the problem is that you cannot really go anywhere else other than left and right. Right? There is no decision making on the player's side. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but there is sometimes, like here, when I set the portal, the circle in the middle does a little like down and then immediately back, and I'm not sure what this is caused by, because it only happens sometimes. It feels like it's happening if I wait a little. No, okay, never mind. I thought I got this. Yeah, it's like I wait a little bit. Or it's like every other time. No, it seems like it's completely random. It's a bummer because I do like it. Would be nice if it always did that. Yeah, but I like this. It's a nice indication. Nice little gizmo. Okay, don't play the game. It needs to make the game. Yeah, okay, so this little circle disappearing is definitely the way to go. It doesn't look that good, but at the same time, it's gonna be rarely visible. This only happens if you're like mid-air after using the teleport, and it's gonna remain this way until you land on the ground, right? Like here, and then poof, it appears again. So that's cool. That's awesome. I approve of it. Again, maybe we're gonna change it. The problem with the HUD, like while I'm pretty certain that I want the menu to look like this, the problem with the HUD is that I don't know what information I want to display just yet. Because it's gonna really depend on like the context of the game. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be new things popping up as we develop the game. Why do I have so many windows open? Hold on, I need to take care of this. Yeah, okay, that's manageable. Where's my to-do? Teleport availability indication. Okay, that's done. Done and done. Player, okay, that's nice. HUD, also nice. And this. Okay, so let's try to add the navigation input hints. Not necessarily the most productive thing to add, but then again, it is evening. We don't need to be overly productive. It would nicely tie the UI together. I guess we still have this entire screen to implement, but that's another story. Okay, so my idea is to have like a list of them, because then we can skip on the ordering. That's gonna be fun. And only enable them conditionally depending on the state of the menu, right? Because obviously here you don't really have the B button, right? You can't really do anything from the main menu. And here you can go back. And here in the pause menu, you're gonna wanna be able to continue, right? Because that's what escape and B does in the main menu. Kind of like here. And then maybe this edit indication, like left and right, but we'll see about that. Because I don't have it. Also added the missing buttons for like spacebar and shift and mouse. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's here. It was missing during the last live stream. Like here's the shift, and then here's the mouse. Okay, let's take care of this. That should be relatively straightforward. Yeah, we can probably just add them here for now. For now and forever. I don't think I'm gonna change that anytime soon. So hold on, because I made myself a cup of tea, as always. Apologies for the noise. Okay. Let's do hint accept. No, let's replicate the names from the input crate so they make sense. Yeah, there's accept, cancel. Ooh, and toggle. I don't think I'm using toggle just yet. Yeah, for now let's just have this accept and cancel. Okay, accept cancel. Let's go to the spawn. So have I reset this? What am I running here? Interface, okay. Spawn menu UI. I guess. Okay, let hence is equal to spawn hence. Set up the function in here. Okay. So now we need the hint UI hint bundle. Do we need the entire bundle? What do you have here? Like spatial variant. No, I think we only need UI hint and nothing else. Oh wait, but if they don't have the position, they're not gonna be able to be a part of the scene graph. So I won't be able to parent them. And then the rendering system, wherever it is, it queries for UI hint global transform inherited visibility without element variance. Okay, I see. Or we can just maybe you should just use the already existing setup. Because the only problem then is that we will need to manually update the positions. With a immediate mode approach, we would just like write a function that, you know, increments a cursor. And that would be it. No, yeah, let's do it using views like we would normally do, because then the UI scaling and stuff like that will automatically work. It's gonna be much easier. Let's make a hint view as well. Okay, so we need this whole thing like that. Commands entity elements dot hint accept. I'm gonna be inserting things. We don't need the ID. Position, we can just keep it at 0 for now because we're gonna have a separate system updating the positions anyway. Okay, hint variant, that's gonna be accept once it exists, and cancel. Alignment. Probably just center. Okay, now we need the view. Can just steal this whole thing. Oh, that's the surface. Where's the view then? Settings tabs. Oh, here's the view. Okay. So this is gonna be the hint view. We want it to be anchored to the bottom left. I'm gonna call it hints. And then push children. And a little reference to our hints. Elements hint accept, elements hint cancel. I'm gonna return that, although we don't really need to do that anymore because we store the IDs for it. We store the IDs for it in this one resource. So I guess we can simplify this later. Okay, this itself should set up all we need for the hints to be displayed. Aside from this variant. So now we're gonna need some IDs for that. So what is this? Accept and then cancel. It's gonna be enter, which we don't have. So I'm gonna leave it at R for now. So what is accept? This A, which is south, right? And cancel is escape, which we also don't have. And then here, that's east. Okay, let's focus on the gamepad for now, I guess. So let's get rid of this. Oh, we don't have all of them. What are we missing? Reset. What's this variant? What is it for? It's kind of random. I mean, there's gonna be a reset button eventually for like the settings in the settings menu, because you want to have a button that like reverts to the default value, but it's not implemented yet. Let's see if this compiles. Okay, it does, but there's something wrong with the loader. Oh my god, hold on, I'm stupid. There is a reset button. That's a button for restarting the game. which I also don't have. Okay. Okay, can already see the input hints in here. In the top left, just that they're not positioned correctly. So we're gonna need some system for that. Okay, draw hint system. Let's go to animations for now. Put it in the animations because that's probably what it's gonna end up being. Animate hints. Plugin. Let's animate the hints. We can put it in here. You can actually make it look like immediate Mojo UI. Now as I think of it, it's probably gonna work pretty much the same. Okay, so we have the menu state of the game state. Okay, so where do we want to start? $60, okay. Okay, something simple to start with. Have the accept and back. Okay, so for now, let's make it so that in the pause menu there is no back, just to see how it would look like. So we're gonna need some query with the positions. And we're gonna be mutating this. Okay, positions dot get element hint accept. Can unwrap this, 'cause it needs to exist. If it doesn't exist, that's a bummer. And we want to get mutable. Oh, we're also gonna need some text next to it. Okay, but for now, accept dot Can I mutate the position? Is there a way to do that? Oh, it's just value. Okay. Value is equal to cursor. Okay, and then cancel. Should be mutable. Cancel that value is equal to cursor. Okay, and now we just need to step the cursor up. By the width. Of the UI hint. Okay, we're gonna actually need the UI hint in here together with some input. Okay, it's gonna be hint dot something definition, yeah, from the input. What do you return? Hint definition, okay. Ooh, okay, that's a bummer as well. Yeah, hasn't really thought this one out when implementing the other hint system. Let's hard code this for now. Ooh, what's up with this? With this panic. Oh no, it's the unwrap that got us. Okay, it's the wrong ID. Yeah, okay, and now they are here. They are R for the keyboard, but AB for the gamepad. Okay, so we're gonna need to. Now we're gonna have to figure this out using an immediate mode approach, because the text is gonna vary as well, right? So we need to know the width of the UI hints, and then the width of the text, and then some spacing and so on and so forth. Because this way we're gonna end up re-implementing layout, which is something that I didn't want to do. And I feel like it would be silly to do for such a little thing as an input hint. Regardless, it is getting late, so I feel like it's a nice place to finish this live stream. Sort of in the middle of implementing something, but oh well. We did manage to do some little gameplay features, like the reset thingy in here. And we're gonna probably continue on Tuesday. No, not break. It's an end. Okay, so thank you everybody so much for tuning in. Good luck with you know, whatever you're working on, and I hopefully see you on Tuesday. Bye bye.